small shop owner has bought in the Santa or in any Raitu Bazaar.
Those type of plastics are known as thermosetting plastics. Comparison, there are 3 types.
Up, down, right, left.
I am not inferior to anyone.
We are Clara. We are top on the Everest. Congratulations.
I want to be a leader.
Hi Sweros, good afternoon to everyone. I am Priyanka of 8th standard from Gowlidoddi Magnet Institution. I came here to do a lesson from bioscience. So today our topic is biodiversity and its conservation. So before entering into the topic, there is an incident. Let us see what is that. There is a girl. Her name is Rani. Every day she used to go to school. One day she went to school. It is on Friday. Every Friday they'll do nature prayer. It is at the back of our textbooks. So after that, after assembly, she and her friend both went towards the bulletin board. They read about that. So it is about World Biodiversity Meet 2012 Hyderabad. After that, she is thinking about whole the day. She is thinking about that biodiversity. So after that, she went to her home. It's dinner time. Everyone, her family members, sat together and they are making some discussion. Let us see what is that. So Rani's grandfather asked her, "What are activities going on in your school?" So Rani told about World Biodiversity Meet 2012 Hyderabad. So she told about there are 100 endangered species in our whole world. There are four endangered species from our India. From that, there are 2 from our AP, Andhra Pradesh. So she said they are Guti Tarantula and Indian bustard. So see this slide. So see this. These are the 2 animals and insects. So these are the endemic species from our AP. They are Guti Tarantula and Indian bustard. Then her mother pointed that why only these 2? Can't others like sparrows? Even though sparrows are also not same now. See this. See, this is a sparrow. Earlier seen everywhere, but seems to have disappeared now. Only this not. There are many birds like this. They are crow, koel, mynas, etc. So, yeah. So her grandfather pointed that, again their grandfather said that when I'm young, there is a big and huge tree in our village. So in that, many birds, animals and many insects used to live. But see this. This is a big banyan tree where all the animals used to live. And it is, when her grandfather is very young, this tree is there. But now it is cut down. So all these birds habitat and animals habitat is banyan tree. No, after cutting down, their habitat will be lost. See how they are escaping. Their banyan tree was cut down and they are migrating to some other places. So then her father said, in previous days also, many generations ago, tribal people used to sell honey from house to house. But now they are not selling. Why? What is the reason? So to give this answer, we should know what is diversity and how to conserve it. So let us see what is diversity. So diversity is nothing but biodiversity. Bio is nothing but life. Bio is nothing but life and diversity is nothing but variations. So, we find many variation in biodiversity in all human beings. So, let us see what is diversity. Biodiversity. What is biodiversity? So, biodiversity is a variety of life forms, the different plants, animals and microorganisms, the genes and the ecosystem of which they part. So, they are known as biodiversity. So, in biodiversity there are three types. Let us see what they are. They are genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. So, do you know what are these three? Yes, these three are diversities which offer these three are diversities. They are genetic diversity, species diversity and ecosystem diversity. Let us see what they are. Genetic diversity, types of diversities. Genetic diversity means the total genetic information contained in the genes of all species is known as genetic diversity. Species diversity. The variety of species refer to the number of species and the number of individuals in a species. Ecosystem diversity. The variety of habitat, natural communities and the ecological processes is known as ecosystem diversity. We find these three diversity in biodiversity. Let us see. Genetic diversity. Genetic diversity means they refer to one race, but there are many variations in the genes. So, that is why they are known as genetic diversity, and we find in species diversity also. See, in species diversity we observe many changes, like some of them can fly and its colors, its legs, etc. In the same way, ecosystem diversity. In ecosystem diversity there are many changes. See this is forest ecosystem, and next aquatic ecosystem, and next greenland ecosystem, grassland ecosystem. So, we find many variations in this. So, let us see next. See this, we know that these two are grass plants. So, we find many variations in this. See, first one, it is too small, and second one is too big, and we can see their colors also. First one color is very dark green, second one light green, and we find many variation in roots also. Some of them have tap roots and some of them have fiber roots. Even though see this, we can find in this also we find many variations. So, not only this, we find variations in plants, animals. See, these are the variation in animals. These all belongs to one race, but we find changes in faces, colors, height and nails also. So, we find not only variation in plants, animals, we find variation in human beings also. See, we know by seeing their faces, we can identify from which country they are. So, see this, these are the variety people from different countries. By seeing their hairstyle, dressings, eyebrows, by seeing them we can identify these are from this girl is from India, this girl is from America, what else. And next, not only if we find variation in plants, animals, humans also, we find variation in microorganisms also. First one is virus, and second one is bacteria, third one protozoa, fourth one algae, fifth one fungi. So, we know that these all are microorganisms, but we can't see with our naked eye, but we find variation in both of them. Before doing, let us do one case study. Long years ago, there is a thick and dense forest. See here, this is a Ramagundam dense forest. So, in this forest is known as, also they are called as Tiger Valley. Why? Because in this forest there are many wild animals used to live. Examples like lion, tiger, cheetah, etc. So, after settlement of this thermal power station, see this is thermal power station. After settlement of this thermal power station, the habitat and the forest is lost. Little bit of forest, see this is a very huge and big place surrounded by all trees. But now after setting the thermal power station, the area how much they need, they cut down all the trees, and the habitat for animals is forest. We know that the habitat for wild animals is forest. After cutting down all the trees, how it is? Yes, many of animals will migrate to other places, and many of them habitat is lost. By that many of them animals also die. In that we find only some animals, insects, like we find these animals or insects in our areas also, like scorpion, cobra, python, etc. and also peacocks. Peacocks we are seeing slight, because now their habitat is forest. We are cutting down means it will become slight, and it will comes under, slowly it comes under endangered species list. So, we should conserve. According to noted ecologist E.O. Wilson, every year nearly 10,000 species or 27 species per day become extinct throughout the world. If this trend of extinction continues, the very extinction of man will be affected. So, let us know what is endangered species. Endangered species. Do you know what is meant by endangered species? Yes, endangered species means these are the species whose number are critically low and their habitat is so drastically reduced that they are in danger of extinction. At present, approximately 18 species of mammals, 38 species of birds, 18 species of reptiles and amphibians are considered endangered species in India. So, see this. These are the examples for endangered species. Next, keeping track of endangered species, WWF means World Wildlife Federation, or the IUWC means International Union for Wildlife Conservation, published a book containing the details of endangered and the threatened species of flora and fauna, called as Red Data Book or Red List Book. So, in that there are details about endangered species. And next, endemic species. Endemic species. Endemic species means the species which like plants and animals which refers to a particular area is known as endemic species. Example like kiwi. Kiwi is endemic to New Zealand, and Tangadu flower, it is endemic to our Telangana. So, like these there are some examples. See this: peacock, kiwi, white tiger, they all refer to endemic species because they are particularly they restricted to one area. So, that is why they are known as endemic species. Next, extinction. Extinct. Extinct species. Extinct. Do you know what is meant by extinct? Yes, species of plants and animals that have vanished from the earth's surface is known as extinct. Example like dinosaurs. In 30, 40 years, centuries ago, we used to see, we are not, now dinosaurs are not there in our world because they are fully vanished from our earth's surface. So, dinosaur is an example for extinct animal. So, importance of biodiversity. Let us know. We know what is biodiversity and how it is important. We should know how the biodiversity is important. See this. Humans are depend on biodiversity for their sustenance, health, well-being and enjoyment of life. Food. We rely on biodiversity to provide us with a large and varied food source. Health. Humanity diverse many of its medicines from biodiversity. So, these are the importance of biodiversity. So, next we should know the values of biodiversity. What is biodiversity? We know what is biodiversity and we should know the values of biodiversity. Recreation, it creates, create. So, it is known as creation, recreation. Many recreation activities rely on or benefit from biodiversity. Inspiration, biodiversity as a role inspire artist, musician and writer. Escape, biodiversity provide us a sanctuary for the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So, we know what are the values of biodiversity. They are recreation, see this, they are recreation, inspiration, escape. So, next, so these two we know these two are insects. So, these two help in pollination. So, it is known as these two animals are considered as it helps in pollination. Threats of biodiversity. What are the threats of biodiversity? So, let us know what are the threats of biodiversity. They are habitat loss and fragmentation, competition for invasive species, pollution, global climate changes, desertification, population growth and overconsumption, unsustainable use of natural resources. So, these are threats of biodiversity. See this, these are known as natural calamities which helps in these are the threats of biodiversity. They are floods, they are floods, tsunamis, etc. etc. These are the threats of biodiversity. We can see in this slide. So, see, first one is forest fire and down, that is floods. By these natural calamities, our biodiversity is destroying. So, we should not cut down deforestation. So, by these also we are by humans we are losing our nature, and due to this many causes, so these are this is deforestation. Next, poaching. Do you know what is meant by poaching? Yes, poaching is a hunting and harvesting, taking of wild plants or animals such as through hunting, harvesting, fishing and trapping. History of poaching. Millions of years ago in the Stone Age, followed through the age of 2, even the tribal natives. But it was during the late Middle Age that poaching became published often. So, consequences of loss of biodiversity. How we are losing our biodiversity? By these we are losing. There are a loss of ecosystem services, loss of genetic diversity, reduced food security, protection of water resources, nutrients, storage and cycling, pollution, breakdown and absorption, loss of genetic diversity. Genetic diversity allows species to adapt to change environmental conditions and stresses, reduce food security. So, how to preserve biodiversity? By these we can preserve. There are national strategy for the conserve Australia's biological diversity, natural heritage trust, wildlife reserves like national parks, Flora Fauna Guarantee Act, Endangered Species Program, quarantine, education, breeding programs. By keeping this and by implementing this, we can preserve our biodiversity. So, how to conserve our biodiversity? Biodiversity inventors. Conservation biodiversity is a protected habitats. In situ conservation, ex situ conservation, seed bank, gene bank, pollen banks, DNA banks. By these we can conserve our biodiversity. India has over 600 protected areas, which includes over 90 national parks, over 500 animal sanctuaries and 15 biosphere reserves. Protected areas contain maximum biological diversity. So, next, migration. Why do birds migrate? Yes, birds migration means migration. This is migration picture. So, migration means, see this is migration. This is migration. Why do birds migrate? Yes, changing place, one place to another place is known as migration. Why do birds migrate? Yes, birds migrate for nesting, food, global climate conditions, etc. For these purposes, they they migrate to other villages or states or countries. So, see here, this is an Siberian crane. So, it lives in Russia, but it migrates to our India. For what? Yes, it came to our India because it have proper climate condition to live here. That's why it migrated to our India. Benefits of biodiversity. Biodiversity is known for its multiple benefits. There are three main benefits commonly cited. Economic benefits, ecological benefits, ethical benefits. Economic benefits. Significant economic benefits associated with biodiversity are food, agriculture, medicine, industry. Food. All our food comes from plants and animals. About 80,000 plant species are potential for food source. Agriculture. The genetic diversity of wild plants are used to produce better strain of crops with superior yields. Medicine. Medicinal plants are of great demand in method of pharmaceutical industry, because today synthetic drugs owe their origin to plants. Industry. The wood from plants is being used in industries for clothing, shelter, as fuel, as raw material for paper, rayon plastic for construction purpose also. The moderate green revolution, the farmers began to lose the traditional system of a sustainable agriculture. However, the Beach Bachao Andholan BBA means Beach Bachao Andholan has helped to revive the traditional farming methods. Ecological social benefits. Biodiversity is important for maintaining and sustainable utilization of goods and services from ecological systems. So, the service includes formation and protection of soil, conservation and purification of water, maintenance of hydrological cycle, etc. Forest vegetation provides natural protection to soil as soil blinders that prevent soil erosions and also slow downs water flow to downstream areas. The pores and cracks found in between soil particles act as natural filters, purifying water as it drips through the forest ecosystem. This not only helps in protecting and conservation fertilized topsoil, but also maintains groundwater. So now we'll revise once again. We'll revise once again briefly. So, today our topic is biodiversity and its conservation. So, we know there is a girl, her name is Rani. Every day she used to go to school. One day she went to school. It is on Friday. Every Friday in the school they do nature prayer. It is at the back of our textbooks. So after that she and her friend both went towards the sea to see the bulletin board. So at bulletin board there is a newspaper cutting and published on it. It is about World Biodiversity Meet 2012 at our main city Hyderabad. So after that she went to her home. Her home. So it's dinner time. Everyone sat together and they are discussing something. Let us know what they are discussing. So Rani sat, they are ready to eat. Her grandfather asked her, Rani, what activities are going on in your school? Can you explain? Yes, Grandpa, I'll explain you. So Rani told about World Biodiversity Meet 2012 Hyderabad. So she said about that. Grandpa, from our whole world, there are 100 endemic species, endangered species from our whole world. But from our India, there are 4 endangered species. From that, there are 2 endemic species from our AP, endangered species from our Andhra Pradesh. So they are Guti tarantula and Indian bustard. You can see in this slide. They are Guti tarantula and Indian bustard. So then her mother pointed that, why only these, can't others? So her mother said, previously we used to see many sparrows, but now it seems to disappear now. Not only this, there are many birds such as like this. They are crow, koel, mynas, etc. Now they are slowly extincting from our earth's surface. Then her grandfather said, when I'm young, there is a big and huge tree. See here. This is a